Hey everyone, welcome to Web Sleuths YouTube Live. My name is Trisha Griffith. Delighted to tell you that I am the manager of websleuths.com, the very best true crime discussion forum in the universe. In mere moments, we are going to have Megan Connor on. Now, Megan Connor, she's a good friend of the show, and she is the host of her YouTube channel, The Midlife Revolution. That's at third_verse. And Megan has done a deep dive into Lori Vallow's hearing yesterday with this new judge in Phoenix, and it's about cameras in the courtroom. Now, usually those things are just kind of dry and boring. Not this time. Lori's public defender is, well, I'm going to let Megan tell you more about it. Okay, and we'll bring Megan up here. But we have good news. I want to start with good news. Insightful one, tell us the good news.
Yes, Sierra Odell, who we spoke about last night, has been located.
You can't. Okay,
she's
wait.
alive.
Thank you.
Okay, she's alive. Yes.
Send me a text says, Sarah's been located. Sarah's been found. I'm like, okay, dead or alive. We finish it. She's been found alive. She's been found safe. And say the name again, just for the people that are just joining us.
That Sierra Odell has been found located alive.
Very good. Wonderful. That is great news. So I'd like to start off with good news. Okay, everybody, let's welcome Megan Connor. Megan, how are you, my darling?
I'm great. How are you guys doing tonight?
We are doing wonderful. And thank you so much for letting us be a part of this tonight. I really, really appreciate it. And real quickly, in case you haven't met Megan, first of all, you need to check out her channel. And Insightful One, could you put the link to Megan's channel in chat, please?
Yep.
I appreciate it. And you need to join Megan's channel because it is absolutely amazing. It's called The Midlife Revolution. It's on YouTube at third_verse. And Megan Connor grew up with Lori Cox and the Cox family. She is their first cousin. You know how close cousins can be, you know, and you have fun in the summer together and everything. And Megan saw firsthand the bizarreness of the Cox family. Let's just say that. And Megan, real quick, before we get into Lori's hearing yesterday, tell us about the Midlife Revolution at third_verse and what you do with people.
Yeah, so I started my YouTube channel as a way to sort of connect with other people who are trying to make positive changes in their lives. And so the midlife revolution is, you know, a lot of people think of midlife as a certain age, but I think of it as a time when you sort of stop and look around and say, is this what I really want for my life? It's all about making small changes that turn out to be revolutionary. So I release an episode every Wednesday around 8:30ish Central Time, and then I have a live Q&A after the episode. And then every Sunday night we do sort of intention setting for the coming week. We talk about some of my favorite quotes and motivational things and just come together as a community, support each other in our healing journeys and in our journeys to change things for the better.
And one thing that, well, one of the many things I love about your channel is you're getting people to accept that maybe they had some trauma in their life and they need to look at it and go, yeah, I was hurt and I can heal from it. And it's okay to admit it. And that's a big thing to do. And what you're doing to help people admit that about their lives, it's life changing. And so I really appreciate everything that you do. Okay. Now, Megan, yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before?
Yesterday, Friday.
Yesterday. Lori Vallow Daybell had, there was a hearing on her case. She has been charged with the murder of her husband, Charles Vallow. Her brother actually did the killing, Alex Cox, but Alex is dead. And she now has been charged in Phoenix with this crime. And she has a public defender. And we heard from him. Oh, let's put it this way. Yesterday was the first day I noticed him because this was such a bizarre hearing. I don't even, you know, I'm going to just let you explain it because I don't even know. I don't have words for it because I was just like, what the hell is this guy talking about?
Yeah, so the hearing was almost 40 minutes long. And it was really just supposed to be a simple hearing about allowing cameras in the courtroom, which is an issue that they've addressed prior to this hearing
Mm-hmm.
in some detail. And then it was supposed to be a status conference on, complicated cases. And to have a hearing like that go for 40 minutes is pretty rare in the first place. But really, this public defender was just harping on about the fact that he believes, anyway, that Lori's constitutional rights were being violated by having cameras in the courtyard or courtroom, and it was tainting the jury pool. And he kept on it just over and over. And the judge was very patient with him, but kind of, kept his cool, which I really respected. The judge is Justin Beresi, and I don't know a whole lot about him yet, but from what I've observed in the courtroom, he seems to be very no nonsense and also very patient. So I put together some clips from the hearing because I wanted to present, first of all, how this judge is going to be. Like I was saying last night, we know Judge Boyce, we know how his courtroom operates. This upcoming case, we need to know who Judge Beresi is and how he's going to operate his courtroom. And then Lori's defender, the one who was speaking mostly today, was Gerald Bradley. As far as I can tell, he has been a public defender his whole career for the past 20 years since he's been licensed.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have anything, remarkable out there against him. There aren't any bar complaints or anything like that as far as I could see. So he seems to be an attorney with a decent record. However, when you listen to him in this hearing go on and on and on about essentially an argument that really doesn't make a lot of sense, and he wastes a lot of time, in my opinion, in the court.
He really does. And you've done a lot of work on this presentation, on these slides. Let me pull them up here. Okay. So now, should I just hit the start button, or how should I do this?
I can actually do it from here.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead. So this first clip is just a tiny snippet of, just watch the judge in this one. So I should mention the sound on these first 4 or 5 clips is very low. So I don't know if you want to turn up, those of you who are listening, you may want to turn up your sound because the sound quality is not great. And it's the quality coming from the courtroom. It's nothing on our end that we can do anything about.
And I've got it turned up as loud as possible here. So you just have to listen very carefully. And we can discuss what he said as well. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
We'll stop and discuss afterwards.
Get to that, but just for this particular moment, correct me if I'm wrong. It sounds like you're giving me the courtesy to make a record, but you don't feel like that's required under Rule 122 in this situation. Is that accurate?
Create whatever record you want.
Okay, that doesn't really answer the question, though.
Go ahead.
So you're not going to answer the question about whether...
I think I've answered the question.
Okay.
I love that. And in case you didn't hear it, he was kind of chiding the judge, wasn't he? The defense attorney.
Yeah. So he's saying, the judge is saying, go ahead and make whatever record you want. The defense attorney wants the judge to comment, and the judge is just like, I'm not going to comment. You just go ahead and say what you want to say and put it on the record. And it just, to me, is a signal from the judge, like, I'm not going to comment. I'm not going to play your game.
He wanted a back and forth with the judge about this. Yeah. And the premise is cameras in the courtroom, but the defense attorney, Lori's defense attorney, is really upset because a particular recording was made of a hearing, and it was released somehow to the public. And he's all bent out of shape about it. And that's what this is.
Yeah.
And
we'll see that on the next clip too.
Watch the judge's demeanor. Okay, go ahead.
So we're going to go to the next clip. Here we go.
This time was the court's team, Microsoft Teams footage was broadcast against the spirit and intent of your directives of order regarding the 8 a.m. hearing.
Correct.
There's still, at least for me, some questions about that. And I would just ask, if we know the answers, we can put them on the record or ask somebody that might be here to inform us. We need to know who gave that team's footage to the media, because that's directly related to the violation of your order.
I don't know who gave it to the media.
You don't? Okay. So I imagine the media knows. And I don't know if there's someone here that could perhaps inform the court, but I think that's pretty important. And if this is a violation of a court order that without a doubt continued to damage my client's free trial and due process rights, because as we know, this hearing wasn't supposed to be broadcast in that manner, and the usual comments and articles surrounded that, and that's all prejudice.
Okay, so he's really trying to argue that the video that got shown was detrimental to his client's reputation. And I just have to say, I mean, is there anybody who's buying that? His reputation is or her reputation is already out there.
It is what it is. She's a lunatic cult leader who murdered her children and another woman and her husband. Can't do much damage after that.
So she's already been tried and convicted, and she's already serving consecutive life sentences in these other 3 murders. And so I think it's sort of dumb to be wasting our time even talking about her reputation being damaged at this point. Her reputation is what it is, right?
Exactly.
So he goes on to kind of say, the likes and the clicks and all of that kind of stuff. And the judge just lets him talk, but is not going to comment, is not going to play his game. So let's go on here to the next clip.
Okay.
It might just be quicker to do it this way.
You can do any investigation that you think is necessary through any course that's necessary, but I don't know anything about
So just
what the media has or doesn't have.
Just to say, the attorney really wants the judge to crack down on whoever it was that released the video. And the judge is basically saying, like, that's not my job. I could, he could ostensibly hold somebody in contempt of court for doing that. But what good would that do right now at this point when it's already been, leaked, the damage has been done, whatever. So that's basically the argument that's happening right now.
Yeah.
I don't have any knowledge of what was broadcast, what wasn't broadcast. All I know is what you made me aware of in your pleadings, which apparently we suspect one of the next of kin or named victims recorded or screen recorded the team's meeting. What happened after that, I have no idea.
Well, Judge, it's troubling to me that this is a violation of your court order, and it doesn't appear the court wants to explore that any further, and is fine with it.
I love his facial expression.
I know, it's great.
Because it violates my client's constitutional rights, and I think.
How does it violate your client's constitutional rights?
There was the 8 a.m. recording against your wishes, as you put in your own minute entry.
I don't know that it amounts to a violation of constitutional rights as opposed to a violation of my order about not recording that particular hearing.
Well, the violation of the order directly leads to the violation of the constitutional rights. I don't know how there's not any argument that what
constitutional right was violated?
Judge, the jury is further tainted by all the information that came out in these articles, in this posting of this video that wasn't supposed to be posted. And I don't think that's, I don't understand how that part's up for debate.
Well, your argument is the jury pool has been tainted, not the jury has been tainted. The remedy for that is doing a robust voir dire examination of all the jurors that come in, and that may take some time because of the media coverage that's happening here. We can't assume every person in Maricopa County has been exposed to the Lori Vallow case.
Well, Judge, that's a straw man. I never assumed or said that.
You just said the jury's been tainted.
Jury pool.
No, you said jury.
That I misspoken about.
I love that.
Jury pool has been further tainted. Everybody in Maricopa County? No, I'm not saying that. But surely, I think we can agree, people, probably a large amount of people, as we can tell by the, I'll rest on my sealed filing, but views, likes, things like that, have seen this. And that's part of the jury pool.
And that's why we have
So the judge is saying that's why we have the voir dire process. This is how we get an impartial jury, is that after, all of these hearings have been done, we bring the jury pool and we ask them, have you seen any of this? And this is what I found kind of mind blowing. The defense attorney sort of randomly refers to the number of views and the number of likes and all of this stuff, but he doesn't go to the trouble of actually quantifying that in any meaningful way. And so I have done that for
Yeah,
you.
thank you. I'm so glad you did.
So if we go to, let me see, I just need to get control over the next little slide here.
Just be quicker to do it this way.
Do any investigation that you
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So there are two videos that got leaked, not
Mhm.
leaked, but I just want to reference this because I think it's really important for us to understand. I'm going to share this tab. This is the YouTube video that the defense attorney is referring to. As you can see, this is a Zoom meeting or it was a Teams meeting.
Mhm.
There are 6 participants in this Teams meeting, and the judge is going to go over this a little bit later, but it was mostly the staff of the judge, and then there were 3 living victims who were also on the Teams meeting. But if you go and look, first of all, this was posted by Fox 10 Phoenix. We all know Justin Lum. He's done an excellent job reporting on this case. So this video is posted by him. You can see it has 74,000 views, which is honestly not a lot when you're looking at all the videos of Lori's case. It's fewer views than a lot of her, case reporting videos have. 2,000 likes. That's sort of in the mid-range of what her
Exactly.
videos usually get, right?
Mhm.
The
Right.
very first comment on this video that is pinned is from Justin Lum of Fox 10, and it says, "Hi, for all those wondering, this is the courtroom camera system. There was no TV news camera inside today, but that will change on July 1st and for the upcoming trial, unless the judge bans broadcast cameras. Because we didn't have a pool camera in there today, I requested the courtroom video for our information and reporting." So he did a FOIA request and
Mhm.
he was given this video. So
So
there's no
it wasn't.
scandal here.
It
There's
wasn't
no,
like surreptitiously, or you know what I mean?
yeah, surreptitiously
Thank
leaked
you.
or any.
Recorded and then leaked.
Exactly.
He did it properly. Okay.
Right. He did it through the proper channels. He got everything done in the right way. So for the defense to argue that this was detrimental to the reputation of their client certainly does not violate any of her constitutional rights. That's a wild, ridiculous claim to me. Also, if you just look at the number of views, you look at the number of likes, you look at the comments, and you have to go pretty deep to find a comment that even mentions Lori. Look at all of these comments. Charles and Brandon, justice, denying the motion, let public view, let's get Melanie charged next, justice for Charles. Charles tried to warn everybody, open criminal proceedings. Okay, this is the first comment that we see that's even remotely negative. I sure would like to see her face. She found out Chad got the death penalty. If it matters, we're here for JJ Tiley Tammy. I'm glad the judge is allowing. Motion denied. Let the court know. We're here for Charles. You have to go down to the 36th comment on this video to find anything that's detrimental to the case.
That's negative about the case. And that's what Lori's public defender is arguing ridiculously, in my opinion,
Yes.
to the judge, saying this has harmed my client's reputation and it's tainted the jury pool.
Right.
And just Mr. Drama.
Right.
And the judge is just sitting there like, what?
So 39 comments down. This comment right here by X-Files 435 is the first comment that says anything about evidence in the case. It says Tylee was on video being questioned about Charles. She said she heard a loud bang before her mom came out of the apartment. I believe what Tylee said. I think he probably means house at this point. But this is
Right.
the first and only comment that mentions anything about case evidence or that would affect anyone's opinion about the case. And it's 36 comments down. I don't know about you guys, but I don't go that far down in the comments.
No,
You know,
it's
so-
ridiculous.
Yeah. So anybody who's going that far down in the comments is probably somebody who is doing deep dives on this case. If they get called into the jury pool, they're obviously going to say, look, I've seen all the videos. I've seen all, I've been following the case. They're immediately going to get excluded from the jury. So
Mhm.
there's really no reason for this attorney to be even making this case, especially when he didn't go and look at the number of likes on the video. He didn't read the comments, or if he did, maybe he did. And he actually references later, a little later on, about how he, you know, sends some of these links to the judge. And it's really, really funny to hear what the judge says in response to it.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it. I can't wait. Now, I think the audio gets a little better, doesn't it?
It does get better as we go
Okay.
on. Yes. So let me find the next little video here.
You would ask if we put on a record who was present on the team recording. It's still a bit of a mystery how what happened last time happened, so I think it's important to know who's there.
So this defense attorney really wants somebody to be held accountable for recording this video and then giving it to the media. That's what's going
And
on here.
what did he say there? I didn't quite catch it.
He said it was really important to know who was on the Teams meeting. He wants to know exactly who was on that meeting and who had the capability of recording it.
Okay.
They say,
Look at the judge's face.
there, which I can't see right now, but we've all seen videos of people who, whether it be by accident, well, usually it is by accident, but their name does not necessarily reflect who they are. I just think it's important to put on the record who's on the team's recording, so if this should happen again.
I could tell you what names appear right now. Is that what you want?
Absolutely.
My name appears, my JA's name appears, my clerk's name appears, my courtroom assistant's name appears, someone named Brandon Bordeaux appears, someone named Kay Woodcock appears, and someone named Susan Vallow appears. That is the extent of the people that are logged in.
Thank you for that. Are you comfortable, Judge, just letting everybody know they're not allowed to record the team's recording and give it to the media?
Well, that was only limited to the recording that we were having a hearing on whether or not media and cameras would be allowed in the courtroom. I didn't make that going forward. I mean, I can make that if you like. I don't know that is that what you were asking?
Well, yes, Judge, considering what happened last time, I mean, it's definitely asking.
Well, that was a hearing that was closed to the media and shouldn't have been recorded.
That's exactly my point.
But this is not the same type of hearing. But if you want me to, I'll tell those people that are online they shall not be video recording or somehow recording the team's feed. Does that satisfy you?
I love that. Does that satisfy? You might as well just say, does that satisfy you? Because you're driving me crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
I think the judge is he's really trying to be accommodating. He's really trying to give this attorney some kind of comfort. And I think too, he's trying to just like, can we put an end to this argument and move on to the next thing? You know?
Exactly. I love this guy already.
Yeah, I do too. I really think he's great. Okay, so I'm going to try to go on to the next little clip that we have here.
Would it help if I removed your title underneath so you can see it, or no?
No, it's totally my fault.
Okay. It's fine.
Okay, so this is the video that the judge is actually talking, or that the defense attorney is actually talking about. This is the hearing that happened, I think, about 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago, where it was the initial request to have cameras in the courtroom, and the judge was considering the sides of the argument. Justin Lum presented a very eloquent argument to include cameras, and I think that's what this clip is. This is the video that the defense attorney is objecting to having been shared. And you can see Justin Lum right in the center here. You can see Lori here and the judge up here. So this is the argument for the reason to have cameras in the courtroom.
Your Honor, I believe the defense's motion argued that there's been oversaturated coverage of this case, but I would argue that it's been extensive and thorough coverage of Ms. Vallow's case since December of 2019. At the core of this, and I'm sure you're aware that there is a case in Idaho that was tried and she's been convicted there. So all we have done is cover her crime she's committed in that state and the crime she's accused of here. Due to public records requests, we have been able to obtain police reports, body camera footage, videos, interviews from Chandler and Gilbert police. Much of this evidence has been seen in her trial in Idaho and will probably be seen in this upcoming trial. That is all we've focused on as far as the case. It's a high profile case with a lot of interest. And we believe that covering this hearing is just another development in keeping people aware. As you know, there are victims in the courtroom right now, or family members representing the two alleged victims in this case, but there are also people who do not live in this state and want to be aware of what's happening. And if you have seen the recordings from the court when there is not a broadcast camera inside, you can see that the quality is low. Now, that may not be a priority, but we just ask that you allow cameras for this hearing so we can keep on covering this case as best as we can. Again, the argument about the issue of finding a fair and impartial jury, I would say that Maricopa County has 4.5 million people in population size. It's the fourth largest county in the country. There was no issue finding a jury in Idaho for 2 trials, including Ms. Vallow's husband, Chad Daybell. Ada County has about 500,000 people. If people want to know about this case, they can go on the internet. I don't think Fox 10 Phoenix or any other media outlet here should be blamed or punished because we've covered a high profile case that involves 3 murders in Idaho and 1 alleged murder here, an attempted murder in this county.
Yeah, so that was
Justin Lum. He's the best. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Megan. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. I mean, that was his argument that day, and the judge granted access for the media to have cameras in the courtroom, despite the whining of the defense attorneys that day.
And it was it that was the video that was released, and that's why now this hearing yesterday, the defense attorney was all his pants were in a wad, basically.
Right. So there are 2 versions of the video. This particular one is the one that Justin referred to when he was saying that he requested the video from the court. And then there's one more version of it, which we can see right here, which again was posted by Fox 10 Phoenix. So the assumption from the defense attorney is that somebody gave that video to Fox 10 Phoenix. And
through about 8,000.
As you can see, it's a different perspective. This is obviously somebody who's in the Teams meeting, and they're either screen recording or something of that nature. So this is the reason why the defense attorney had such an objection, is because somebody who was, one of these 6 people who was in there obviously screen recorded and then gave the video to the media. That's what he's objecting so vehemently to. And that's where he's saying he wants the judge to find out who did this and make sure they don't do it again. So in the previous clips, we saw the judge saying, like, okay, I'm saying right now, you shall not record. Is that good enough for you?
Yeah. I mean, the judge has got better things to do,
Exactly.
for goodness sake.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So this next clip, I mean, we're just going to continue to slog away at this just a little bit. But I think listening to some of these things, it's going to help us understand the judge and the relationship between him and the defense attorneys. So,
and it sounds like you will, but that's prejudging the case. You're not letting.
That's because I'm considering at this point, as I said when we started this hearing, that the media request is an ongoing. I've granted it as an ongoing. They don't even need to request it going forward. Fox 10 News.
So no matter what we file, it's not going to matter. So how it
I didn't say that. I said you can file and supplement your objection depending on what you object to and what more information comes out. That ruling could change in the future. But at this point, it's a standing ruling that Fox 10 News can have a camera in the proceedings going forward until it changes.
And Judge, you're not at all wanting to explore if Fox 10 had something to do with the violation of your intentions and the spirit of your directives of the last year. And you don't want to address that with them at all.
No.
That's it. No, I'm not going to address it.
No, done with you.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine this is a good way for Lori's attorney to start things out with this judge.
No, he's already developed a reputation for himself.
And if he's going to be this annoying about something like this, what is he going to do during the trial? I can just imagine objection after objection after objection. Oh my gosh, it is just going to be, it's going to be a nightmare. Now, as far as we know, there will be cameras in the courtroom during the trial. And when is the trial again? I can never keep track.
Right now it's scheduled for February, I believe, unless they've changed something since the last hearing that they had.
Right.
However, they're continuing to have status conferences because the defense really does, I mean, the judge really does want the defense to be caught up on all the discovery and to have gotten through the discovery. They don't get to that part of this status conference until the last 9 minutes of this hearing. It's the hearing is almost 40 minutes long. They don't even get to this status part until the last 9 minutes, and it's not even really worth watching the last 9 minutes because all they say, all he says is, "I'm on track with the discovery. I think we should be ready by February of 2025. I think I'm going to be ready." That's all it is. And then they schedule another status conference at which Lori again waives her appearance, and the defense attorney gets in a couple of digs about her being able to be in street clothes and things like that. So I agree, Marilyn, it's going to be a really long trial, especially if we're going to have to endure. I mean, look, the judge has been so patient with this guy. He's tried to comply with the requests of this attorney. And we've seen him waste 30 minutes. And the parts that I cut out that I didn't include in these clips are him just doubling and tripling down on the same argument over and over with no real legal basis for this argument. Her rights are not being violated in any way. There is nothing surreptitious going on. He doesn't have any receipts or proof that this harmed her reputation in a way that's going to go beyond the voir dire of the jury when it comes to that point. So
exactly. And you have more, right?
Yeah, there's a couple more clips. There's one that'll be a little humorous. So if you're waiting for a little comic relief, it's coming.
Wonderful.
Okay, so here's one more with the defense attorney.
I won't rehash my concerns.
Thank God.
Can you tell me the nexuses that you find between camera being allowed in the courtroom and not allowed in the courtroom?
So just to sort of put a point on what the judge is saying, he says, "Can you get to the nexus of the argument?" He's saying, like, please get to the point. Just tell us what it is that you want to do.
What the hell you want.
Right.
Media, do you agree that every hearing, whether there's a camera or not, is going to be talked about in the media on some level?
Judge, I would agree that, and I think that somewhat supports my point actually, that no matter what we do with the cameras, they're going to report about the court hearing anyway. Yeah, absolutely. So why do we need the cameras? Especially for a hearing like this, which, other than this argument, would be really short.
Agreed.
Pretty inconsequential.
Yeah.
I don't think that cuts totally one way. And the point is, because of the visual aspect of the camera coverage, and you've seen it in the comments, the ones I've cited to you, and maybe you've clicked on it yourself and you've seen plenty of others. I haven't clicked.
Okay, so the judge is about to say, like, I haven't clicked on any of the links that you've sent me. I trust that what you sent me is what actually has happened. But there was a brilliant little post by, who is this user? It's called Pink Dino Media. And he put together this little short that I think is really cute. So this is the comic relief I was promising you. Here we go.
You've clicked on it yourself and you've seen plenty of others.
I haven't clicked on it, and I haven't sought out anything in the media about this case. And the only thing I really know in this case really is what you've put in your pleadings. I mean, I will admit I don't watch news. I look at articles about news on my phone. This case has never come up on my newsfeed.
It's come up on mine.
Well, probably because you're searching for it on your phone.
Love it.
I loved that earlier. Yeah.
Savage.
Love it. Oh my gosh. I'm going to love this judge. And what is his name again?
His name is Justin Beresi.
Love him already.
Yeah.
And I hope this defense attorney kind of dials it back during the whole trial, because this is going to be, like Marilyn Landis said, a very long trial if this is the type of attitude he has about stuff. Again, he's making such a big deal out of this video that was recorded off like kind of like a Zoom meeting, and
Right.
somebody released it, and it was nothing in there that was a problem at all, you know.
Right.
And probably the person doing it didn't even have any idea that they weren't supposed to. You know?
Right. And you know, I mean, regardless of all of that stuff, yeah, the judge could hold them in contempt. I think that's why this defense attorney is so incensed, is because he's like, Judge, they violated your order. Aren't you going to do something about that? And the judge is like, yeah, it didn't really affect the outcome of the case. So why would I waste my time? This is the thing that other people also don't realize. This is not this judge's only case.
Exactly.
He has other cases that he has to go through. He has other hearings all day long. He's looking at discovery. He's looking at motions. He's looking at all of these other things. So when somebody records a hearing and puts it out there and it's not consequential to the outcome of the case, the judge has got better things to do.
Exactly. And like I said, not his only case. This is going to be a very high profile case, especially locally in Phoenix.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad Justin Lum is going to be there. I'm assuming that Nate Eaton will probably be there as well, and hopefully Lauren from Hidden True Crime. So we'll have it covered very well.
And I'm going to be there as well.
Oh, you are? Oh, fantastic.
Awesome.
Okay, great. I want to, can I talk to you a little bit about the case and what you touched on last night? Again, this is Lori Vallow. She is being charged in the murder of her husband, Charles Vallow. Now, this has been brought up by you and by others that there's going to be things revealed about the Cox family. It's going to be shocking. And I'm sure the Cox family is not looking forward to it at all. Do you have any hint of what this might be? Are we talking about text messages from Summer, from Alex? I mean, do we know what might lie ahead here?
I can only speculate. And when I speculate, I'm going to make it very clear that I'm speculating.
Okay.
You know, this is my opinion, and I don't have any idea because I haven't been in touch with that part of the family in a really long time. And the few family members that are still willing to talk to me, you know, most of them don't talk to me about the case. So all I can say is that from the information that I have, which was given to me by a family member who was there, I know and understand that after all of this happened with Charles, like the same day that it happened, that the majority of the Coxes were at Janice and Barry's house.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that they met together, they talked together. I sort of make the assumption that there was some kind of agreement that was made between the participants in the family that we were going to, as a family, that they as a family were going to support the narrative that Alex acted in self-defense no matter what the evidence showed.
Wow.
And I personally, if I had to be in the same horrible, awful situation, which I can't even really imagine, right? All of us can armchair quarterback this thing.
Sure.
Right? But none of us hopefully will ever be in this situation. So therefore we can't imagine what our actions would actually be. It's easy for us to look at it from the outside and say, well, I would have done this and I would have done that. And I would, you know. But I've been in situations before where my kids have done stuff that I don't agree with, and where they've done stuff that's harmed other people, and where they've done stuff that, you know, is, you know, borderline illegal or whatever. I just am the kind of person that believes in natural consequences. And so I'm not going to protect my children from consequences. may be an unpopular opinion. There are so many people out there who say, "Oh, I would do anything for my kids." Well, not me.
Not like this. No,
A
doesn't
lot
do
of,
them any good. You know.
there are lots of things that I would not do for my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is to cover up something that they've done to harm somebody else, whether it's big or small. And I remember Lauren Matthias saying this at one point, like, if I had a family member who had committed a crime, I would give them a big hug and then say to them, let's go to the police department together.
Exactly.
And
Right.
I'll sit next to you. I'll hold your hand while you confess.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the kind of information that I think is going to come out, is what role the family members played after that trigger was pulled and what happened. So this is what I don't know, and what I think the trial is going to reveal. And I think it could be pretty harmful to some family members. And I understand completely not wanting your deepest, darkest secrets to be aired out in public for people to talk about and for people
Right.
like me to comment on, even though I'm a family member.
Mm-hmm.
But my point is, like, if you don't want people to think you're an asshole, don't act like an asshole. I'm
Right.
I'm sorry, but it really bothers me when people get mad at me for talking about my own experiences, because naturally my own experiences are going to overlap with the experiences of other people. And when I say my perspective about something, if it makes you look bad, that's not my fault.
Exactly. Exactly. You have to take responsibility for your actions. And again, Charles was the first. Well, maybe Joseph Ryan was the first, but Charles was the first as far as Lori and Chad go. And if they would have just, first of all, listened to Charles, he'd still be alive. Maybe if they hadn't rallied around Lori and Alex, maybe the kids and Tammy would still be alive too. And they have to live with that, because boy,
Yeah.
did they defend Lori. Remember those interviews with Janice, the mom, and Summer, and there's no way she would do anything to her kids. She's the best mom ever. No, she's not. And as somebody pointed out in chat, this family produced two very vicious killers of children. Something happened to that family. Yeah, and I'm just going to come out and ask, and I don't know if you even want to comment on that. Do you think there was any sort of abuse, incest, anything like that going on?
I
Or would you
can't.
rather not say?
I mean, there are so many things that I can't say because it's not my story to tell.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to talk about my own experiences. I don't want to project my feelings and my opinions onto other people's experiences. However, I will say, if you look at the FOIA documents from Stacy's divorce, there are some hints. If you look at the FOIA documents from Lori's divorce from Joe Ryan, there are some hints.
Right.
If you listen to everything that's been said, even by, even things that Adam has said about his family growing up, there are some hints. And I think that it's really difficult to imagine that if we take those FOIA documents at face value, it's really difficult to imagine that there was not some kind of abuse that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I do know that there have been accusations, and I do know that there have been investigations, but as of this point right now, there have been no arrests, and there have been no court cases and no convictions of either one of the parents. So that's all I can say. I do have other information that is relevant, but I'm not going to talk about it because it's not my story to tell. So I'm going to stick to talking about my experiences. And as I said, when I give conjecture, I'm going to say this is conjecture, this is speculation. Mm-hmm. But I do think you have to look at the pattern of the things that have been said in court documents. And yes, it's possible for people to lie in court documents. That's sure. I'm sure it happens a lot. But when you look at the pattern and the repetition of certain things that keep coming up over and over, you can dismiss one claim, you can dismiss two claims, but when the same claim keeps coming up over and over and over, you have to give some credence to it. And I'm the kind of person, because of obviously where I've come from, I want to believe when someone comes up and says, hey, I've been abused. I believe victims until we have evidence otherwise. And I realize that means that sometimes people are going to get wrongfully accused. But I do want to be very clear about sharing this. And I share this statistic as often as I possibly can, because I think there's a lot of misconception about people who cry abuse or the R word or SA or whatever it is. When someone reports abuse of that nature, in documented cases for the last 50 years, there is only a 6% chance that that person is not telling the truth.
Okay.
And when the person is reporting it to law enforcement, that number drops to 3%. So only 3% of cases that get reported to law enforcement turn out to be false. So when a victim comes forward, please believe the victim, because in 94% of the cases, that victim is telling the truth.
Thank you. And I'm glad you said that. And that does need to be said over and over. I want to ask or to answer U4EA's question. Did Lori and Alex act inappropriately with each other? According to witnesses that I've spoken to directly, absolutely they did. Very inappropriately, very sexually. In fact, Alex's first ex-wife quit being they were friends after the divorce, and she quit hanging around with them because she was so uncomfortable with how they acted toward each other physically. It really made her feel uncomfortable. So that absolutely was the case with Alex and Lori. And apparently to people I've talked with, that was not unusual in the family. And Megan, I apologize. I am not sure. I think what I'm about to say may have come from you and your experience. And if it didn't, please stop me. But the Cox family, that Janice and Barry would just go have sex in the middle of the day and you could hear them. And it was very inappropriate, for kids. Is that something you told us? Somebody came on here and told us about that.
Yeah, that probably came from me. That was an experience that I personally witnessed. And I also personally witnessed the Cox children behaving inappropriately with each other physically. And there's been some pushback about that, like whether or not it was inappropriate. Well, when you grow up in that system and in that environment, to you, it feels normal. But to the rest of the world, it is inappropriate behavior. Siblings do not grab each other's body parts. That's not normal. That's not, I shouldn't say the word normal, but it's not normative sibling behavior.
It would be shocking anywhere else. It would be shocking.
Exactly. And if you did it in public, people would stop and stare at you and say, what are you doing? That's weird.
Right.
Sisters do not grab their brother's pecs and squeeze them. That's not normal.
Yeah, exactly. So again, I think you're absolutely right. I think we're going to find out some things here that are going to shock people. Summer, we've talked about this. I saw her at CrimeCon. She still is in denial, basically saying that there isn't really nothing wrong with her family. And no, sorry. I have to keep my dog entertained or I'm in big trouble here. So I do apologize. But come on, there's something really wrong if two of your kids grow up and do these horrible things. There's something really wrong in that family that happened from a very young age. So
yeah, I will say too, there is a lot of trauma associated with radically accepting the fact that you have family members who are capable of killing people. That's
Exactly.
horrible. It was even hard for me to say out loud the words, I was abused. To admit that to yourself when you've been dissociating from it for your entire life is incredibly difficult to do. It requires breaking something in your brain that got put there when the trauma happened. And so I completely understand why people who are in the middle of this situation sort of have blinders on and they look at it like, yeah, everything was fine. Everything seemed great. Like we had a wonderful childhood. I know people who have been abused who will still say they had a normal childhood. That's
Mhm.
because it was normal to them. That's
Right.
because their lived experiences were this. And the rest of us look at it and say that was abusive, but to them that was just every day. So I
Yeah.
get it. I understand how difficult it is to do that because I had to do it myself several times. Like admitting that is so hard to do. And the work sucks. And I get why people don't do it because it sucks. It's not fun. It is breaking apart your entire world and learning to look at things with new eyes and admit to yourself how painful and difficult everything was. And it's so much easier to just dissociate and just say, that wasn't that bad. I came through it. I'm okay. I'm an adult. Like my life is okay. It's easier.
Yeah, exactly. And again, that's a big part of your midlife revolution at _verse on YouTube. You really help people recognize that it's okay to say they were traumatized and it's okay to get help, and doesn't mean that you did anything wrong, you know. But again, when you look at the Cox family, there's something really off, very bizarre, and you're right, we are going to find out a lot this summer. Megan, if there's anything we can do for you, please let us know. If you need help in Phoenix, with anything when you're down there, we're here for you. When I say we're here, I mean Insightful One will do all the work. I'll take all the credit. So, Megan, thank you so much. We've been putting your link in chat and we'll put it in the description as well. And I want to welcome everybody from Megan's chat tonight. Thank you so much. We certainly hope you subscribe to our channel. It's absolutely free, and we'd love you to become part of the Mad Chatters. And to the people on our channel, please go to @3rd_verse on YouTube. The link is in chat. We will put it in the description, and join Megan's channel. Subscription, it's absolutely free, and you will learn a lot from Megan Connor. Megan, thank you so much. This was fascinating. Now we have a good idea of what is in store coming February in Phoenix in the courtroom with Lori Vallow.
Thank you so much for having me. I always love being with you guys.
You take care now.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of your weekend, okay?
Thanks, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I just love that woman. Absolutely love her. She really is the best. She really is. Guys, I apologize. For some reason, have just, what's the word I'm looking for? All my energy has just been sucked out by Chad's portal. Again, I have COVID. Hi, Teresa Cook, my lovely cousin. You are the best. I'm so glad you're here. And Chad Hunter and Candy Williams and Beth B and North Wildlings and everybody. Thank you so much for coming. But I was going to talk about some other things, but guys, I'm zapped. What can I say? Is it Chad's portal? Is he coming here, or is it COVID? I don't know. What do you think, Dr. Insightful One?
I think he's trying to zap you right now, and that's what's happening.
I think you're right. I think that's the
Yeah.
only logical.
You're rated like what, 20 dark, and he's trying to take you out.
I am 20 dark, and he wants me gone. He wants me. He's in there. He's in his portal. He's just got his zombie zapper out. He's zip, 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 and it's just draining me, people. It's just draining me. But we will be back Monday, correct? Insightful One.
Yep.
Now, is Ping the Router? Is he doing a show tonight? I keep forgetting.
I'm not sure.
But he does one Sunday nights for sure. So be sure and look up Sunday Nights with Ping. We will put that in the description as well. Okay, I'm just going to sign off, my darling true crime angels, and go to sleep. But I want to thank our wonderful moderators, and that would be Moonlight View. Let's see, Leisha Gallegos, Four Sons Mom. Yuda, thank you so much. And thanks to everybody who came over from Megan Connor's at _verse. We appreciate it. Oh, real quickly, I heard from Lillian Gale, and let me read you what she said. Hang on here. She said she's doing better, Trisha. I will see you soon. Tell everyone I said hello. So
Okay.
said she's doing good, and that is wonderful. So we hope to see her in very, very soon. Okay, and Insightful One, thank you for everything that you do, my darling. And we will be back here Monday night, 10:30 Eastern, on Web Sleuth's YouTube Live. See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.